Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a build order with the brand new civ, the Gurjaras from the Dynasties of India DLC. This is a really sharp build order, and before I reveal what it is, you'll probably read from the title anyways, but I'm going to be utilizing two things that the Gurjaras really have as an advantage. So the first thing is that you have a camel scout. That's the minor thing. The big thing really is that you can garrison your sheep or your livestock into your mill, and that will generate food over time, kind of like a relic generates gold. Now, at first I overlooked this bonus, but upon further inspection, it's actually really strong if used correctly, and I've kind of refined this build to be very aggressive, yet not all in the sense that you can still continue producing villagers, and you're not completely committed to the rush. You're just kind of making sure you have a nice opening straight out the gates where you can pressure your opponent and then stabilize behind it with a nice economy. Why the Camel Scout is important is that it protects you against early scouts, and it basically ensures that you win the one-on-one scout war in Feudal Age, which could be pretty important when you're going archers, because if you're going archers and you're getting counterattacked by scouts, it could be pretty ugly. But this Feudal Camel Scouts actually, completely nullifies any opposing scout rush for the most part. So super excited to showcase it. Before I hop in though, just a quick reminder, links to my Discord and my Twitch are in the description below. Highly recommend you check out my Twitch if you want to see me play live games on the ranked ladder and interact with chat. We have an awesome community there. And if you want to check out my Discord, we have a nice place to hang out with. I'm very active there. I respond to all questions and comments as much as I can, really. And there's also free AoE2 builders in there like this one in a nice document. Feel free to check that out in the Discord. It's all free. Check it out. I really want people to use them, and just tell your friends about them or share them with your friends as you will, or as you wish. And yeah, let's hop into it. Gurjaras, 19 pop double range aggression. Let's do it. So it starts off pretty crazy. I'm going to try to commentate as much as I can. It's a double house opening like usual. Immediately use all your sheep here to scout for your berry bush. I got lucky here, but it doesn't really matter how fast you find it. Just make sure that's the first thing you're doing. And then after one of the villas is done building the house, just go ahead and send her to make a mill. Find your other sheep as fast as you possibly can, and as I said again, it doesn't matter if you find it super quickly like I'm doing here, or if it takes you another minute. The concept is the important thing. It doesn't really matter that much in the long run. Alright, and what's important is we're going to keep 2 villagers on the main berry bush patch, and the rest, so one that builds and one more, and the rest will go underneath the TC. It's actually very important to do this part correctly, and I'll explain more at the end of the build order, or near the middle of the build order really, because it will become quite clear why we do this. I'm just missing 2 more sheep. Feel free to scout with your sheep, by the way, to find all of them. Like I said, the microseconds that you save, being outside with a sheep, as opposed to being inside the mill, it's just a few food. So just make sure you're finding all the sheep. That's the important concept. As fast as you can. There it is. Once you find them all, send them right back to the mill. We're not going to eat those pretty much all game, so pretty interesting there. We're going to instead use them as a trickle of food. Alright, so around this time, once you have 6 villas onto the berries, the next villager, the 10th villager we can say, or the 10th pop, going to go straight to the boar. And I'm not going to use this, I'm not going to put this this builder into a document, just because I feel like there might be some changes to the new civs, and I don't want to put any of them, set in stone as of yet. So just going to make this video, and as you can see, I'm just scouting the AI, but I'm not going to steal anything from it. At this point, sorry, we're going to go to wood with 2 villagers. TC trick if you want, if not, it's all good, doesn't really matter. Micro efficiencies. Make sure to scout your opponent after you find all your sheep, and you have a nice vision of your map though, because it is an aggressive, you guys need to go into the mill. Kind of happy I forgot them, because it just shows you what happens if you get them a little bit late. It really doesn't matter. Alright, we're going to make a house here. 0 walking time, it doesn't block any farms. Good deal to me. Keep sending to the boar. Get the second boar when the first one's running out. Judgment call it. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it comes in a little bit early. Just make sure it comes in at a reasonable time. I'm going to go right now. Yeah, so I'm not going to put these builders into a document like I have for the other builders that are set in stone and kind of done. But I do have a video, of these builders. I'm going to make 1 builder for each of the new civilizations, including the Hindustani. So expect 4 builders coming to YouTube, and also 4 So You Want to Play videos. I'm going to redo that series, or continue that series rather. I know it's a fan favorite. I'm going to showcase you guys as much of the new DLC content as possible. I want you guys to get the most bang for your buck? Yeah, bang for your buck. That's the saying. Around this time, guys, last 3 villagers. Last 4 villagers. Excuse me. It's a 19 pop. I tried with 18 before, that's why. It's hard to make these builders. There's a lot of trial and error. Yeah, it's 18 is too sharp. It doesn't really work. 19 works though. The last few villagers here, send them over to wood. We want to have 6 on the first lumber camp. It's going to be 6 and 6 or 6 and 7 for the lumber situation. I think 6 and 6 is the best though, because 7 bumps too much from what I tested. So there it is, and then we're going to go ahead and do loom. And it's important to transition to your wood early here. As soon as you can afford that lumber camp, drop it, because you want to have as much wood as possible, because you need to afford that, you know, that double range early, or as fast as possible. You can't really do it right away, but as fast as possible. And don't worry about that food surplus, guys. It's not really a mistake. It's going to come in really handy. And that's why we keep those 2 villagers on berries. Just 2 though. You don't really need more right now, because we actually do need extra food for villager production here. Alright, at this point, just take 6 villagers as soon as you can afford it. This reminds me of a naval builder as well, where as soon as you click up, you just put everything to straggler trees. Kind of similar. So we're going to go to another wood. Make sure to pick, you know, safe wood, you know, lumber camps, lumber sources. And we're doing loom. I'll explain a little bit at the end of the builder maybe why loom is super important with this build. Don't try to skip out on it, in my opinion. And I'm delaying going to gold, by the way. You really don't need gold that soon. We're going to go to gold at a reasonable time, though, don't worry. But we're just going to value the wood earlier. After the barracks, that's when I recommend going to gold. And you're going to use 2 villagers. Not the one that's super weak, of course. Only 2 villagers. We're going to queue villagers from the town center, either to food on the berry bush, or we're going to queue them straight onto the gold as well. So it's going to come. Villager with a barracks and a house, and then the second villager will help make the ranges with that first villager when the time has come. Obviously, you should use the low HPs to build your barracks and stuff like that, because you keep them close to your town center. And at this point, if you want to track your opponent's scout and try to, you know, 1v1 him with your scout, you win that, so do it if you want. Awesome stuff. So we're going to get the first range down, and we're not going to do 2 ranges right away. It's not that easy right off the bat, but you're going to get there. So first things first, you're going to send villagers over to gold. And as soon as you can afford that second range, you want to drop it with that second villager, like I said. There it is. It's a pretty tight builder. That's why I didn't work with 18 pop. 19 pop is what I think is the fastest. If someone else can do it faster and still make it a proper builder, it's consistent, that would be very much impressive. Double bit action right away. Now we gotta start sending villagers to the berries. We're gonna do that from the lumber camps, or we're gonna rebalance. Let's call it that. Basically, we want to get to the situation where we have this guy's gonna need to make a house, or someone's gonna need to make a house. We need to have 5 on each wood line. That's what we need. I don't care how you do it. 5 on each wood line, and we're gonna rebalance the other villagers to get 7 on gold and a few on berries, such that you can always produce villagers from the town center. We'll get fletching a little bit later. It's not going to come in as fast. Start producing as much as you can. So this guy's going to go ahead and make a house first. Going to go to 7 here onto the gold. And as you can see, we can't quite afford fletching. We can only afford villager production. That's why you need to get a couple farms now before you can actually afford to get anything else. Now that wood we made the 2 ranges. We're going to make the blacksmith, and we're going to start seeding farms. It's actually really good to get that influx of wood. And now we're doing double range production, and you can wall it. I have 1 villager walling, no problem. I always try to mix in at least 1 villager walling in my builders, because that's practical, you know. It's not a math game. It can't be like, oh, I can afford everything. It's a practical game, you know. It's a strategy game, and part of that strategy is walling. Some say it's 90% of the strategy these days. I'm not that I'm not that extreme yet, but it's some of it, some people. And there you go, just start seeding farms here. You can't afford fletching right away, but depending on how fast you sheep, you're gonna have like 20, 30, 40 more food than me, depending on how efficient you do it. And you just get fletching as fast as you can. But from my experience, you're gonna need to seed some farms first. But the important thing here is that you have those early archers here. Feel free to move out. 5, 6 archers, just move out. Make a spear if you want to. It's a bit tight, but if you really need it, you could afford it. I personally recommend not doing it because you have the camel scout, so you're not scared of scout rush anyways. And this is why I think this builder is so good with the Gurjaras. You don't need to mix in that spear, whereas normal civs, you actually do need to mix in a spear if you want to move out without fletching. Yeah, 10 villagers on wood, like most of my other builders. After that early game craziness, we just settle in. That house actually blocked the farm. I'm so bad. Should not block the farm. And yeah, we're just gonna attack. And fletching's coming in at a reasonable time. Nothing too crazy, man. It's 7 on gold. The numbers are all there, man. Tried and tested numbers, really. They work for like every builder. This guy just continue walling, basically. And it's the AI, so we're not gonna focus too much on like the attack, but you guys can get the idea. Yeah, stop production for fletching as soon as you can afford it, basically. And continue making farms. So at this point, you're transitioning to castle. I'm not gonna go too much longer, but I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of what your options are mid-feudal, closing into castle age. And just keep your sheep in the middle. Like, think of it as like a free extra 1 or 2 villagers. Like, it really is just that good of a bonus. You don't need sheep. I would prefer to have the extra 2 villas than all those sheep, right? At this point. At this point, I have fletching. This is such a strong army, man. Like, this amount of archers, that's 14 minutes? Maybe Khmer is the only other civ that can do this. Maybe Khmer Britons, I guess? Like, some really top tier openings here. That can keep up with what the Gurjaras are doing. And I'm sure this is not 100% perfectly optimized. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. It's only out a couple days now for me, so... Been working hard. This is the best I found, guys. Tried it actually more times than I like to admit. Alright, so again, pressure. As far as what you're looking for to pressure, anything that you can get your hands on in terms of wood, gold, berries, anything works. Keep your scouts near your camels if he has scouts, because your camel will destroy them. And keep making archers and walling up your base, basically. If, for whatever reason, your opponent is making skirmishers, which is a very logical answer, you have 2 options. Either, and this is very simple 2 options, either you add a stable and you invest into scouts into feudal age, or you simply fully wall your map as such, regular timing, because you're the one attacking. You can run around by time, fully wall your map, and then wait for castle age. You're almost guaranteed, if you do this builder correctly and don't take damage at home, you're almost guaranteed to hit castle faster than your opponent if he starts making scrims. It's like, you can literally just do the math, right? So as long as you're forcing a reaction, he's making a lot of scrims, you're totally happy with that. My personal best or favorite reaction is simply to let him make the scrims, fully wall, and just get a faster castle age time. That's what I live for. Faster castle age time, and crossbows will just dominate everything. You're gonna find picks like this, by the way. Obviously versus AI, it's nice and easy, but even versus real opponents, they're not gonna expect the amount of pressure you're putting out with this build order. And like I said, it's not all in at all. My economy is perfectly smooth at home, and I'm even not losing any units, so I'm forced to make more houses here. If you lose units, it's fine, you're trading, it's all good. And yeah, my recommendation, hit any villages you can, and yeah, just try to get the walls down. If you can't wall, just make a stable, make some scouts, invest into feudal age. If you can wall, do exactly what I'm doing. Don't get horse collar, can't afford it, don't need it. And then, yeah, it's just castle at 18 minutes, like, castle click at 18 minutes, 20, it's ridiculous. That's like a 21:30 castle time after 2 ranges. Not a lot of civs that can do that. At this point, it's pretty standard. Like any other civ, want to continue massing archers. Another opportunity, guys, to make a stable. If you want to make a stable, all good. I'll make one here just to show you what it looks like. You can get archer armor if you want. You can get horse collar whenever you can afford it. What else is there to cover? And all these are options. Like, this is not a rule book, you know what I mean? This is just, I recommend you get the gold upgrade. That's the one thing I recommend. Archer armor, yeah, if you want it, get it. If you don't bother. You can get it later. Horse collar, probably worth it. If you want to delay it a little bit, if you want to get fast ballistics, that's totally fine. Adapt the builders to your playstyle, to what's happening. It doesn't matter. Don't think of builders like a rule book. Think of them as a guide. It's going to help you find what works for you. So I'm making a stable because whatever reason, I think my opponent might be going for a lot of knights. That's what he wants to transition into. He has a lot of skirmishers, and I want to amass some camels. Whatever it is, just grab it, and you're good to go. But as you can see, you really do mass a lot of archers with this build. And you have a ton of options. Like, it's like any normal build from this point. You have a ton of options. You can boom. You can even mine stone if you want to transition to unique, although that's not the best option. But it is there. And yeah, just to show you what this can look like. I'm going to get a crossbow bodkin and start massing camels. You can even mass camels in feudal age, believe it or not. Nothing wrong with this if you really need them. Sucks that you don't get knights, but hey, it's life. I'm going to cancel that camel, just really showing you the options though. Alright, this game I'm feeling like an early thumb ring. Boom, I have it. If I'm feeling like an early ballistics, no problem. Cancel thumb ring, it's a ballistics time. If I want to make a TC, all good. Make a TC on the wood. That's very logical. Replace the farm villagers. Let's get wheelbarrow. I'm going through so many options, I'm probably losing you guys, but as you can see, at this point it's free. What I want you guys to get to is this point. You get Castle Age, at whatever time, it doesn't matter, I hit like 21 something here, and you have a ton of archers, and this is your power spike. If you went for scouts and feudal, no problem. You hit castle later, your power spike is when the scouts come out and they meet your archers, and you have a really strong feudal age composition there to dominate your opponent. And that's going to be the end of the builder here, guys. Like I said, do whatever you want. Make a TC, go up to 3 TC, make ballistics, get thumb ring, make stable units. The choice is all yours. Just whatever you do, commit to it and spend your resources. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here real quick. So as you can see, uptime 850, I believe that's perfect. 2058 castle time, pre-21 minutes. Sheesh. I really am back, eh? Say what I'm sheeshing at 5 a.m. by the way, by myself in my mom's basement. A new low. But yeah, that's it for the builder, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Drop a comment as well. I read most of the comments, by the way. I also reply to a lot of them. Drop a comment. Let me know what you enjoyed of this format, what you didn't enjoy, some constructive criticism, and what you guys want to see next, or some of the builders you want to see with the new civilizations. As I said earlier, I promise you guys a new builder for all the new civilizations, and also a So You Want to Play with all the new civilizations, Hindustani included. So that's exciting stuff if you bought the DLC, or if you're interested in buying the DLC, that will come to YouTube, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.